Hi, my name is Isadora and I'm an exchange student at the University of Manchester. I'm originally from São Paulo in Brazil, where I study linguistics and English literature. And because I study English as a major, I've always wanted to do a semester abroad at a country where English is the first language and where some of the literature that I study was produced, because I just thought it would be very interesting. And because of that, I've been planning to do it from the very beginning of my university career, which is important because once you sign up to do an exchange between universities, they do look at all of your grades and your progress and how well you've been doing. So it is important to have that goal in mind from the beginning and really try hard and do well at uni to get selected. The type of exchange that I'm doing is a direct connection between my university and the University of Manchester. So I didn't have to sign up to the University of Manchester as a foreign student. I didn't have to go through the normal means of selection by them. I just went to the international office at my university and signed up to one of their openings. And once I did, I had to provide a few documents and meet a few demands, some criteria. The trickiest of them was probably the proficiency exam. I took the IELTS. There are a few other ones for English language and then a few other ones for other languages. But often when you go to a foreign university where the language they teach in isn't your first language, you normally have to take a certificate, to have a certificate that you speak their language and that you're able to take university level lectures at that language. So it is really important if you're going somewhere where the language isn't your native language to really know it well and to really take your time to learn it and to study it. And once you do, the proficiency exam isn't really something to worry much about. They will check if you're able to understand what you listen to and what you read, and if you're able to express yourself well. And if you do, there is not much to worry about. There isn't much studying, specific studying to be done. Just trust the skills that you do have and try not to worry too much about it. If you speak the language, they will be able to tell. And as far as other bureaucracies go, I didn't really need a visa to come into England, but some countries might require one. For England, because I'm only here for one semester, they gave me a short-term student stamp on my passport. And all I had to do was show them my documents and my letter of acceptance from the university. And it went really smoothly, quite easily. It wasn't much trouble. But for other countries, it might be different. It is good to look into, go to the embassy or the website and check really all the documents you're going to need, because it is important to be prepared. And once you have all of that in place, it isn't really long before it's time to go. And it is perfectly normal to be nervous or to be scared. It is very common, and a lot of people, they give up, really. They allow themselves to be discouraged from doing the exchange because they do get scared. And it's perfectly common. It would be weird if you weren't scared, because you are going somewhere really new where you don't really know anyone. So it is perfectly okay to be nervous or to be worried or to be scared. And once you do arrive, it only takes a few days for everything to fall into place and for you to settle in. And it all goes away eventually. You see that you're doing well and that you're fitting in and that you're settling in, and you're not really scared anymore after a really short while. Once you do get there, one of the first things you have to worry about is accommodation. Well, you do have to sort out your accommodations before you leave, but it is your first experience upon arriving where you're staying. I am personally, I am staying at a university hall, and I do think it is one of the best possibilities. I do recommend staying at university halls because you get to meet so many other students who are just settling in for the first time and who are really excited to meet new people, and you get to go to like a lot of events and meet a lot of new people and make a lot of friends. And the friends that I do have who are staying in private accommodations, they tell me that you don't really get as many opportunities to meet other students in private accommodations. Of course, you'll still have lectures with other students and there will be opportunities, but it just happens very easily once you stay in halls and university halls. So even though it's a bit expensive and it might have its issues, it's not the most comfortable home in the world, but you do make it your own really quick, and I believe it is the best alternative for me, and it might be for you as well. And the other thing after you are settled in is what you're going to do with your time. And while it is important to study a lot and to take university seriously, it is also just as important to go explore, go see the country, go meet the people, and go have fun, because you have tons of university work to do back at home, and you are only really out in the new place for a small amount of time. So I would really say it is so important to really take in as much as you can from this different culture you're experiencing in this different city you're living in, and really enjoy yourself as much as you can. And as far as the university and the actual teaching goes, there are some differences between university in different countries. There's a lot of ways to teach and a lot of ways to assess, and you might find that the place you're going has different methods than the place you come from. In my case, back in Brazil, we only have lectures where the professor gives you the content and there isn't really much of a discussion. We only have big group lectures. Where in here we have those, and we also have seminars in smaller groups where you get more feedback and you get to discuss your questions with your seminar leader in a smaller group and have a more personal, almost one-on-one conversation about how you're doing and with the subject and how you're handling it, and you're able to know whether or not you're doing well better. And well, as far as the assessment goes, it has been pretty similar here. The marking scheme is different. We get marked out of 10 back home, and in here it's out of 100, but you never really go above 80-ish. So it is something to get used to. It is different, but it is really not a big difficulty. You will probably get used to the new methods fairly quick, and it's definitely not something to stress about too much. And if anything, it is really interesting to see how different places do you need different than your home. And yeah, overall, I'd say it's such a great experience and it's totally worth it. This is my second exchange so far, and I definitely hope to do more in the future, to go to other places and to study abroad again, because with the most simple everyday tasks, you learn so much, and just talking to people and really experiencing a new way of living and things you never knew could be different are actually different, and honestly a way to learn more about yourself and your own culture and find out what's peculiar to where you live and what's peculiar to the place you're going to. And with the differences, you learn so much. You get to know yourself better, you get to be more independent, you have to really provide for yourself, cook and clean and do everything for yourself. So you do become more independent, you grow up a lot, you learn to look after yourself and to be very responsible in a much quicker pace than you would at home. It's really a sped up development, and it is just a wonderful, wonderful experience. The places you see, the people you meet, they stay with you for the rest of your life, and it's such a rewarding experience. So I would say if you are interested in doing an exchange, but you are worried or you're scared, just really push past all of it because you will be fine. You can totally do it. So many people do, and they turn out great. And it's really the most enriching experience, and I can't recommend it enough. So, yeah, I think that's it for me. I don't really have much else to say other than good luck with your future endeavors, and yeah, see you soon.